Hey, Sarah with NextGEN Medium. This week we're talking about divination in the latest of the Know Your Psychic Type series. So I have to admit that this episode was going to be something very different. And I actually changed the subject like 4 hours ago. Divination has been sort of on the back burner for the Psychic Type series, but I didn't feel 100% that it should be involved. So once I decided that the other subjects should not be a part of the Know Your Psychic Type series, that's when I took a second look at divination and came to the realization that, yes, in fact, divination does need to be included in the psychic types. That's what we're talking about this week. What it is, how it's done, and why I included it. Maybe why I wasn't going to include it. And that's this week on NextGEN Medium, the vlog. Hey, Sarah with you, NextGEN Medium. This is the place where you come to find out more about your psychic intuitive abilities. I'm a psychic medium. I've been doing this for a few years. And I discovered it, and now I want everybody else to realize their psychic intuitive abilities because I believe everybody has them. And it's part of your journey here on Earth to uncover what they are. So that's what I'm doing. I'm serving a purpose as sort of a mentor in that I'm beginning my journey too, but I'm a couple steps ahead. So maybe, there's some things I can pass along that will help trigger your awareness of what you can do. So this week, I'm focusing again on the Know Your Psychic Type series. I'm focusing on divination. Let's look at the divination definition before we get too far into things because I'll start rambling and going on. So I went to Britannica.com. I like it when people who define things give me definitions. It sort of makes it official. So this is Britannica.com's definition. The practice of determining the hidden significance or cause of events, sometimes foretelling the future, by various natural, psychological, and other techniques. Okay, so it's ways to tell the future. So when I was first kind of diving into this subject, I came to the conclusion that this shouldn't be included in a psychic type. Why not? So psychic type is ways that you're receiving things, right? So it's not necessarily the information you're getting in this particular psychic type, but how you are obtaining that information. And so I actually came to the conclusion 4 hours ago that I was going to talk about this week because it was supposed to be something else, and it was psychic art. I was going to talk about psychic art. We're going to talk about that at a later point, but divination, I now realize, is a psychic type because it's using tools. So let's go into that a little bit. So this episode isn't necessarily about the methods of divination. So you got your tarot cards, you got your dowsing rods, you've got tea leaves, you've got numerology, astrology, I Ching. So that's not what this is about. So I will certainly expose you to those words, to these concepts of using cards or dice or coins. But what's important to know about divination is there is assigned meaning to these objects, the way they're placed, the number you receive, the imagery that's on the card. All of these things are linked to a mutual language that is understood between the communicator and spirit, the one trying to pass along the messaging. Sort of spirit being able to guide you using these different divination methods. So I think a great example, and one that you guys are probably familiar with, is tarot cards. So tarot cards is a big giant deck of cards. It's not a regular deck of cards because each card has a phrase that goes along with it, a meaning. So you have a transformation card, you have the Two of Staves. Each card has a meaning to what the card is supposed to represent. Within itself is sort of a vocabulary that spirit, the divine, can manipulate, in which you're drawing your cards and placing them to be interpreted. Now, what also adds to tarot reading as a divination method is where the cards are placed in your layout determines more to their meaning. So with tarot cards, you actually, in any divination method, you actually are giving fate or the divine some ability to communicate other than by just reaching out into your brain. What brings in the psychic ability or the intuitive or the mediumship ability is when you flip over the card, you take its meaning from what the card means and where it was placed, but also what are you getting clairvoyantly? What are you getting clairsentience-wise? What are you getting claircognizance-wise? Because it is also through that you are getting information, and the spirit, the divine, whatever you want to call it, not only is giving you this piece of information, but they're giving you direction to go. So when I flip a card over for transformation and it's placed in a particular spot that's supposed to define where this person that's sitting in front of me, where they are now, I'm being told there is transformation going on. And it is through my clairs that I start narrowing down, why has this come about? Where is this gonna go? What exactly is the transformation? Is it physical transformation? Is it a mental transformation? It is with my psychic abilities that I can draw more information and get even more detail. So it's sort of a way for the divine, spirit, whatever, to have a more hands-on approach, a more hands-on control, and also a way for me as a communicator to allow them to have more control. And I think this, the more I've thought about it and the more I'm talking about it now, I can't believe I haven't gotten into this. So I definitely want to try out tarot cards and learn more about them, the meaning of the cards. It's like 72 cards too, so it's a lot of meaning in there. It's also a way that spirit can draw on the vocabulary in your brain. So if you have a mutual understanding of how things work between spirit and you, the rules are set with the meaning of the cards in the deck and the layout that's in front of you, where each place has a meaning, then that's vocabulary that you both can share and communication that can get stronger. So that's the big thing I wanted you to get out of this particular video and this psychic type is, why would you use divination, and how is your psychic ability a part of that? So the chance of these cards being where they are, that is in control of spirit, right? So there's no psychic stuff there on your part, but it's when you flip the cards over, you understand what card is where and deduce its extra meaning from where it's placed in the layout. It's then that you really connect with your clairs and your psychic stuff. And that's just a tool. It's just an extra way to get more information. And I can't believe I've never really gone into this before. Then the next question is which divination type do I go for? So I think naturally, tarot cards are pretty popular, and there's just so many out there, so many kinds of decks, and they all look amazing and beautiful, and there's so many decks that I want to get just because I love the art on it. But I would say it depends on, I think, what you are naturally drawn to. So if you're a person that likes to hold things, you're a tactile person, maybe you do sculptures, I would say that you are a tactile person, and I would suggest something that you can hold, and perhaps I Ching would be good for you, and understanding the rules of that, and knowing that there's something in it that heightens your natural tactile interest. I would say that is a way that your spirit gets heightened, and then that could be a way for you to go with your divination. I am a very visual person. I love art, and so I think tarot is kind of perfect for me. I also like charts and spreadsheets, and so I think maybe astrology, horoscopes, doing birth charts and stuff like that. I've done that in the past. It was way beyond me at that time, but would be something I'd be interested in reviewing. And so again, you're being given some information, but it's where you go with your own psychic abilities and defining even more what's been given to you, going deeper with that, with your psychic, with your clairs, that really brings out the psychic part of the psychic type. Take a look at my blog at nextgenmedium.com. Link is below in the description to help you find your divination type. Also on the blog, I got videos for you to check out, groups for you to check out, and lots of links. That does it for this week on NextGen Medium, the vlog. Check out links for the blog and the podcast below in the description. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll chat with you next week. Stay safe, stay healthy, wash your hands, be cool, and I'll chat with you later. See you, bye.